Hey YouTubers, and welcome back here to another episode here on ESGNet, and welcome back here to FIFA 19. This is the Sporting Kansas City Manager Career Mode here, and this is inside the Cauldron as we are back here today for the 5th episode. And today is an excellent episode here because I talked about this in episode 11 of this franchise, and we're going to talk about the transfer window. Now, I'm new to this transfer window. I don't know much about it. I've been reading about it here. Some of the stuff is a little confusing. And of course, you know, you're not known to the sport closely as probably a lot of you guys are who follow soccer and stuff like that. Probably from, you know, from a very young age. I just now started to watch soccer, especially MLS and Premier League. I'm just trying my best, trying to keep up and trying to see who's hot and whatnot. I've been getting a few suggestions from you guys. If you guys got any suggestions on who I should pick up or what to look for or stuff like that in Youth Academy, because I've been getting a lot of talk about Youth Academy. Let me know down below in the comment section, or follow me on Twitter or Facebook. The links are down below there. You guys can check it out. But we do have an offer there. I showed you guys there in the last episode with Graham Zusi. Unfortunately, I made a mistake and I end up I call myself trying to negotiate. I end up rejecting it. So I kind of feel bad now for Graham. He didn't get an offer. But you'll see later on here in the episode, we do get another offer from another Premier League team. Because I told you guys at the beginning of this series, I don't want to keep these older players around. I want to move them. If they want to stay around here in the MLS, that's fine. They want to retire as a Sporting Kansas City guy, that's fine. But if they want to, or if they get the opportunity, another team wants to pick them up from the Premier League or Bundesliga or whatever, I'm going to take that. I'm going to do the, just negotiate a good offer, that's a fair offer, and go with that. And it's kind of cool because they give you some pointers on how to negotiate. And I found out by playing this later on. I didn't know it when I was actually filming this, but I found out later on that I can hire an assistant to help with the negotiations there. So I think in the future I might end up doing that. Here you'll see we're talking to one of our players there, Sanchez there. He is looking at renegotiating his contract for next season. He's 27, so he's in that age there. He's in his prime of his career. I think the average age of a MLS player, I think they say is around 30, about 33, 34, which I can figure that sounds about right, because in football and in baseball, which sports I know, I play those games quite often. I watch those games, sports quite frequently. That's about the age you would say they would be in a prime. So probably in their late 20s, that's when they're probably in their prime, and then start kind of getting older. You're not be able to do the same things as you were, 10 years earlier. So that's about the age I'm gonna probably end up starting, trying to move guys around. Maybe give them another chance to play somewhere else before they retire, stuff like that. And of course, I've been looking at guys that we can try to transfer over, or try to get moved to trying to get from other leagues like the Premier Leagues like that, to have them maybe spend their last days here, their golden years as a professional soccer player in the MLS. So kind of like not necessarily like a Rooney type player, but it's a player that's somewhere, maybe in his overalls in his late 70s, early 80s, somewhere like that. And I found a couple, but some of them said no, they don't want to negotiate because they're going to retire after the season, which is fine. That's awesome. I'm glad they had that in the game. So I'm still looking around here. If there's any suggestions that you guys think I should find, because I'm looking for all types of backs, left, right, center, and then I'm also looking for strikers. So if there's anybody that you guys think I should try to go after and negotiate with, or talk to, or try to buy, or get on loan, let me know down below in the comments section, or leave me a name or two on Facebook and Twitter. But we'll take a look here. We're looking at just negotiating here, and I kind of like this negotiating thing. It's kind of tough. You don't want to overspend. At the same time, you don't want to underspend. You don't want to undercut a guy, because after that they don't want to talk to you no more, and they get kind of upset with you. And I'm trying to deal with wages. I'm trying to keep wages. If you're more than 10,000, I think 10K. I said that's considered a designated player. And then of course, we got so many spots for international players, which I think the most you can have, I think, is 3. I could be wrong. It might be 5. I can't remember exactly what the number was. But I'm trying to follow somewhat the same lines of the MLS rules. And like I said, I'm gonna have to go over. I go over them several times especially when I was doing this video, working on this. I'm like, okay, gotta keep within the rules here. I might bend some rules here. I might change some things up as we go along here. Because I don't want to sit here forever and just try to figure out, okay, I can't, well, if I do this, I can't do this and this, or, it's like, one rule, affects another rule, which affects something else. So I'm trying my best trying to do this and whatnot. It's kind of realistically, when I say realistic, I'm putting up air quotes, as I possibly can. But, it is what it is. It's a game. A lot of people say FIFA is broken, especially when it comes to MLS. They don't have the rules implied there for the MLS. It's mostly focused on the Premier League rules and the negotiations, how they do stuff like that. Of course, we're not a wealthy team. We're not like LA Galaxy or LAFC or two New York teams or even Atlanta. We're a mid-market team in the Midwest, so we're gonna have to try to basically, like I said, build from the ground up, build with our youth academy players, in which we'll do that. And we went ahead and we negotiated. We got a successful negotiation there with Sanchez. Now we also got a contract offer to be the head coach of the South Africa team, and of course we got the Russia one on there also too. There, and of course right now we're just kind of stalling because right now we just don't want to focus on that right now. We have to focus in on our team. We're doing hot right now. Of course, this is not a series that we're gonna start one team and then just leave as soon as things get hot. So we're not gonna worry about being on coaching a national team just yet. Maybe somewhere down the line we'll do that. I might have a series like that maybe on FIFA 20. But right now we're just going to kind of focus in on Sporting Kansas City and what we can do here for us. Because, like I said, we're having a great season so far right now, and everything's looking really good here. Okay, so now we're in another negotiation here, and this is a negotiation, I believe, with one of the Premier League guys that we're looking at there, and it's from Everest, one of the not so successful Premier League teams. I guess a lot of people, at least a couple of my buddies were telling me. So there's a young guy, there's a striker there, 75 overall, and we kind of want to negotiate with him. And of course, he's a very expensive player. I did not realize it until we started doing the negotiation. I should have looked closely, focused more on what he was looking for and what he was asking. Because when I started doing negotiations, you can do a split of their contract, and to me, I don't understand why they want me to. When I was doing this, I couldn't understand. I'm like, why do you want me to pay more out when he's still with your guys' team? I just wanted to. And I think it was my fault. I think I should have said loan for a while, not buy. I think I ended up saying buy and not loan. But yeah, there's a cool way you can negotiate. You can do 50-50. You can split up how he's gonna be paid. I try to do a 60-40 where they pay 60% of his contract. We'll come up with the other 40. And then you see here we're just trying to split it like that, and they were trying to do 50-50, or they were trying to do 70-30 on have me pay 70 and then 30. I'm like, no, there's no way I'm doing that. So a lot of negotiation there, and of course, we have a budget. Just unlike the Premier League teams, they really can go as big and out there as they want. For us, it's not the case there. We have to watch out and kind of just check and see what we can afford and what we can't. And obviously, this was not a guy we could afford. I tried my best to do different, do 90, 90-10, 95-5. It's like, okay, come on, you guys can pay that contract, and pay that contract off, and then just give us the rest of it. And of course, did not work. I kind of figured after a while that I was like, yeah, this is not gonna work out for us. If we want him, especially buying him, we're gonna have to really pay out. So at some point here, I think we just go ahead and just say, you know, we're just gonna not negotiate anymore and just leave it at that. So yeah, you see and I like this little cutscene interaction they have on here. I wish they would do that more in Madden and other sports games here. You know, you just see the negotiating things there and stuff like that. So this is pretty cool here. There you see they say was it 60-40. They want to have us pay 60% of it. I'm like, there's no way. We're not doing that. We couldn't afford that. We can't even afford it. We couldn't even afford a 51-49 split or anything like that. We just can't do that. We want him here. But again, it was my fault because I think I went buy instead of loan. But as I look at the screen here, I did say loan. So yeah, I don't know. I guess I think next time, I think in the future here, I think I'll just leave the negotiations with my assistant, and I think there's some setups there, some settings there you can have where you can have them negotiate for you, and within when show, you tell them what you want in the negotiation, how you want it to pan out. So I think that's something we might in the near future. Here, but you see, we're still negotiating there. I was just trying to, after this point here, I was just kind of just messing around, just kind of see what I can get away with and what I couldn't. And for the sake here, we just couldn't. I'll just go ahead and jump to it and say we just couldn't get him. Great guy, great what his numbers were and everything. I looked at his numbers and what he could do there, and I can see why they was not wanting him. To get rid of him. As far as I know, he was not a starter here. He was a backup. He was on the reserves. But obviously they see something. They want their investment. They want the money they put in him already with him and whatnot. So we decided, obviously we can't come to terms. So we're just gonna go ahead and pull out and just end it. So. And the cutscenes are really dramatic, like the music and stuff. I was like, wow, that's crazy. So we'll go ahead and take a look here. We got a couple other players that we're kind of looking at here. We got a year left on their contract there. Gutierrez is one of those guys. But those Gutierrez and Fuentes, both are guys that are over 10K. So there are designated players there. But we'll go with Gorso here. We're gonna negotiate with him, and we'll see what he is wanting here. And then this one was actually pretty successful. He got what he wanted there. We got what we wanted from a contract standpoint there from him. You'll see that here in just a bit. But I think in the future here, I think we'll just focus in on having the maybe the assistant to do some of these contracts here, especially when it comes to transfer players here. Because like I said, I'm new to this. I don't know. I've been watching YouTube videos of other people trying to figure that kind of stuff out, or showing how they do it and what their suggestions are like that. And to be quite honest, some of it is very confusing there, because you don't want to go over budget. At the same time, you still want to have a budget there enough so you can sign some of the youth academy guys. You want to have a big youth academy so you can have guys you can go to and bring up. The cool thing about it is, at least as far as I know, and you guys can correct me on this if I'm wrong or not, but I don't think you can steal players. Like I know in Madden here in the last couple of years now, when they've added the practice team there, you can steal players. You can buy, you can purchase other guys from other teams on their contract and just pick up their contract from wherever. This one I don't think you can. I don't think you can kind of like cherry pick out of the players that you're not using in your youth academy. I have not seen that yet. I might have to look that up here on YouTube and find out. I'll actually my buddy Joe first to see what he says about that and whatnot. But yeah, we're just right now negotiating with him how important. And more so in this case, you guys know he's important. This is one of my favorite players right now in this game and in real life. I'm actually going to a soccer game here, or a Sporting Kansas City game here, probably here towards the end of the month or sometime in September. Usually I go about 2 games or so during the fall, because my buddy Joe, he's a season ticket holder, and usually his wife does not want to go because she's busy with she's a school teacher for, I think she's like a 3rd grade teacher, so she's busy. So she don't go to the games too often in the fall. During the summertime, she goes, or he usually takes his daughter with him. But yeah, if he doesn't go, then he'll call me up and say, hey, I got, Steph doesn't want to go. We want to go. So, yeah, I'm gonna go to a game here, and I'm hoping I can get a chance to meet, of course, because we got to meet a couple other players beforehand. There was some of the younger guys that a lot of people were talking about. Zeusy, I did get a chance to see him, waved at him, yelled out at him, and he waved back and stuff like that. So that was really cool. And there was a couple other, I think it was the Whitecaps, and there was a couple of Whitecaps players that Joe was big fans of, but I didn't know who they were. He was, chatting with him, stuff like that, and I kind of said hi, hello, whatnot. This is before I started doing the whole this kind of stuff on YouTube, doing this series or whatever. This was kind of leading up to doing this series here on YouTube, but yeah, there was a couple players he loved, but I knew Zusu, and I kind of wish I got a picture with him and stuff like that, but he looked like he was kind of busy. They had a great win. It was a good game there from him, but he looked like he was on the way trying to get to dinner or something from one of his teammates or family or whatever. So I didn't want to hold him up on that. But there you see, we're talking to Gorcel there, and we're trying to make our best, job here to not get him to that 10,000 or 10K there, and the wages there. So like I said, this was tough. This was something that I was wanting to try to not get too, negotiation wise. I didn't want to stiff him or anything, because he is a good player here. He's one of our guys in the future that we can really build around. There you see 27, so he's right there in his prime right now. I say probably another 3 more seasons, and I think he will be he'll definitely be a big figure for our team. And so we're gonna sit there, we're gonna play around here, and I think really truly, I think in all aspects of this, I think I've overpaid him in some, because he's looking at 1050 or 10.5 or 10.5, yeah, 10K, 10.5 there in wages like that. So we go ahead and we're willing to say, okay, we're gonna do that. So he is one of our designated players now for our team, and there you see he likes what he's going to be offered, and he's going to stay with the team there. So that was awesome there. And honestly, I almost forgot, during all this, I should have did it earlier in the season. Normally by rule, when it comes to sports games and I try to re-sign people, I usually wait till the end of the season just to see how well they'll play, because sometimes if you wait too long, they do, they, especially if they keep saying, hey, we need to do negotiations. Usually okay, well, I'll do that. But then other times I'm like, because I want to see what you can do. I want you to see if you can get us there, and if you can get us to the playoffs and do well there, or get to the to the championship game, then we can negotiate. And I'm willing to give you what you're wanting. And I think this is one game, like unlike Madden, where they actually tell you what they want, what they want, and I think that's nice. I know there's some upgrades you can make to be a better negotiator, which you're I want to say stubs. I don't think they're called stubs on here, but I forgot what they're called. But you can make negotiate better and stuff like that. And I think that's something I want to look into and see if I can get that and put that on my managers. Part of my manager here on this game, so he can be a better negotiator if I want to do negotiations with myself like I did. I think honestly in this, at least in this episode here, I think I did a pretty decent job. It wasn't the greatest, but I was trying to compare to their contracts from the year before, because I was writing down some of those contracts what they had when they signed their previous contract there, and trying to say, okay, kind of give them an extra 2,000 or 3,000 more, or if they were doing really bad, give them a couple thousand less. But for the most part here, some of the good, really the negotiations with this, like I said, Gorso was probably a little bit too much I gave to him. But for the most part here, the majority of the negotiations went very, very well. Like I said, with the exception of the transfer player that we try to go after, pretty much all these have been going pretty well here. We'll see Nemo here. We'll give him 4,700, 3 years. He wants a rotation role, and I think in some aspects, I really truly, I don't see him being a part of the rotation. I see him being on the field, being one of the starting 11. But he was fine with the rotation, so we'll just stick with that. And then here we are working with wages here. But yeah, his current wage right now is 4,700. I should say that wasn't what we offered him, but so we're gonna try to give him somewhere around about 5,000 or 6,000. I think I go with 5 there. Signing bonus here. I say we'll probably try to be fair here, and then like I said, this is always one of those toughest things. Is what is a fair amount for him to sign or for them to sign. So I went ahead and I was like, let's go ahead with 5. If they don't like it, then we'll maybe go close to 10. We'll maybe go 9. And I was trying to look up some of the information there on signing bonuses, what the average signing bonus is in MLS. I could not find that information right off the bat, and I might have to do some more digging online to look that up and see like that. But and also to just look at other YouTubers that do series like this on with the FIFA game and see what they do. But we get a successful job there with Nemo, so he'll be there for us for another 3 more seasons. And again, one of those guys that we could try to move if he does well enough, or if there's a team out there that wants to pick him up there to play somewhere else across overseas or something like that. We can move him. We'll go ahead and we'll see. We have a couple other players here. Some of these guys we may not re-sign, but like I said, we'll take our time here with those guys. Some of our role players that we can just kind of fill in. If not, we can just easily just say, hey, we can stick a youth academy guy there and just give him some great experience. And like I said, that's for this series. That's what we're going to do. We're going to try to really stick those youth academy players in there and just put a shock into the system and just see what they can do, either sink or swim, and we'll go from there. So, because I know that if we do well this season, I know next season we won't do so well, which is quite perfectly fine. Because most MLS teams, you'll see too many teams going back to back, winning championships. So we'll just take our time and gradually build those guys up. And just see what we can do. But we'll see here. Seth is now with us. We're going to talk to him, and we're talking with his agent here about re-signing. I think this is one of the last re-signs we have. I'm not gonna, like I said, I'm not gonna worry about too many of the other players there, especially if they're around that below 70, between 65 and 70. We're not gonna worry about re-signing those guys again. But Seth is one of those guys defensively. I think he's young enough. Actually, no, he's actually 31. So yeah, he's one of the older guys there. So we're gonna sign him to a decent deal. We're not gonna sign him to a long deal. I think we end up signing him with 1 year. It's gonna be part of the rotation, but chances are he'll probably be on the starting 11 like he is this year. And it's a guy that he can be a role. He can be a mentor for one of our young guys. Because like I said, we are looking for backs in the off season, and not to mention when we get to the off season, we'll be looking for backs, but also right now in the transfer window, and also going into with our youth academy players there. We're gonna try to bring some of those backs in there that I've been looking at, and just try to work with them, get them in training, and get them going there. So next season they'll be ready to go. We have a decent, and that's what I'm saying, just a decent defense there to help us out in the season. There you see, just doing some negotiations here, and like I said, this is just negotiations is always tough, regardless of what game you play. It's because you don't want to, you're thinking back in your head, okay, I don't want to oversign this guy, but at the same time, I don't want to low bridge him. I don't want to think he's less than what we actually need him for, and he might be a important guy for next season. So it's just, that kind of just that dance that you have to do with them, and just see, kind of just test the waters with things there. And I don't know, because I haven't tried it yet, but I haven't tried maybe I have to do it with my other dummy franchise I have. Maybe play around and see what we can do, and see how, if we can renegotiate with him, if we do a bad negotiation. All right, so looking at going back here to the transfer window, we see here, oh, whoa, okay, now they're looking at Tim. So Tim Molina now, 74 overall there for us. He is being asked by the New York Red Bulls. They want to transfer here, and they want to re-sign. They want to sign him to the team, and I'm going to go ahead and say no. We're not going to give him up. He's one of our best goal defensemen, a goaltender. Not to mention, he right now the two goaltenders we have right now are not ready at all. We do have a youth academy player that I have been looking at, I can't remember if I re-signed him or not, but I don't know if you'll see him in this video or not here. But we do have one that we are potentially going to be going after. And he's a young guy that could come out of the gate here. So by next season, we put, if he's where I want him at, because his overall is pretty high. His overall is like somewhere around 70. Just starting off his career, his potential's in the upper 90s. I think 96 or 97. So, if things work right, we could get rid of Tim next season and use him in a trade, or get cash, sell him and get cash off of him. There you see Zusu. He's got offered there. Of course, a couple other guys there trying to go after him. We're kind of like, nope, not getting rid of them. Take a look here. We got some North Ireland guys that we're looking at here. The first one not too good there. The second one there, not too good either. That one right there, yeah, Ian, not what we're looking for there either. He's looks like he's could be a center fielder or a defensive guy. But there you see Graham Zusu. Take a look at the offer that we can make possibly for him. And like I said, I'm going to go ahead and try to see what we can do about that. Sanchez, like I said, we're not gonna get rid of him because we just re-signed him, and I kind of like him as our center defensive mid guy. And I want to keep him there as long as possible. But for Graham Zusu, this might be it for him. This could be the game coming up here with New York Red Bulls and FC Dallas. Could be his last two games that he could be playing for us. So I do go ahead. I don't know if we see it here, but I do go ahead and negotiate that and you'll see the numbers here in a bit. Jamie Ward, there you see one of the young guys there. He is one of our youth academy players there. Mason Brown, Connor Cooper, and Lewis Kelly are the guys right now currently we have for our youth academy. And of course, two of those guys can be brought up at any time, be a part of our senior team. The other two are 15-year-olds, so they got another year just to kind of just be a part of the youth academy there and just get training and just see what we can do, because they're constantly being evaluated as we go along here and just being looked at and just getting better there in the youth academy. So we'll see here. Now this is the attempt at Graham Zusu. As you see there, what his current value is, and of course what we could get out of the this signing here, transfer fee, and stuff like that. So we're going to go ahead and propose a new transfer fee, because I think we can get a little bit more out of him and negotiate a decent amount here. I was looking at, they give you some suggestions of what this like showing you the highest, what the high is, what the low end is, and so from there you can kind of adjust it, which your player's worth it. So we tell them, oh, that's not worth it, we want it for this amount, and they go ahead and say, yeah, we'll go ahead and we can do that. So we're getting a little bit more than we were offered, which is nice. So Graham, nice knowing you. But now you're off to the Premier League. Hopefully you will have a successful career there and do great things for that team there. And we'll see. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be kind of difficult, and I'm not gonna be used to not seeing him on the field now here. And we'll have to see. We'll have to check up on him once he gets through a couple games there, see how he does. But there you see Sanchez there. They're trying to negotiate with him. We reject the deal from the New York Red Bulls there. And then, of course, here's some of those North Ireland guys there. After a couple of about a couple of weeks later here, still we find out that McCaffrey is a goalkeeper there, but not one we want to keep around there. And there you see the current youth academy players are working right now. I did write down some of the U.S. players that we found, and I realized, I'm like, oh crap, I didn't sign any of those. So we do have a guy, one of our scouts there going back to the U.S. Hopefully we can find those same players again, because there was at least 3 or 4 players there out of the 6 that we had that were really good, that were pretty decent, that I wouldn't mind signing. But there you see we got some Venezuela players there. We are going to end up signing there. I love the potential there. Their overalls are pretty low, but what we can get out of them here in the next couple of years, especially you see Rivero and Paz there. Those are 2 young guys there. I believe they're around 16 or 17 years of age. They look like they can come into the league here and really shine. So it'll be really nice to see what they can do. And their overalls are really high. I know on YouTube there's a lot of guys talking about youth academy players and what you should look at, and they say any player that's above 60 or 65, those are the ones you want to go after. If they have that currently right now, if their overalls are in that range, and then their potential is very high, and usually the potential is up there in the 80s or 90s, they say those are the ones you want to go after. So I've been kind of taking that advice there and kind of just taking a chance at some of the other players there. And like I said, some of those other players we can just we can easily just let go if they just don't work out for us here the next season or 2. So but yeah, we've got some good signings there, some Venezuela players, and I believe we go ahead and we sign them here. You'll see that, yeah, we go ahead and sign him, Rivero, and Ramon Paza there. We go ahead and sign him. The rest of them there, decent guys there, but not what we're really looking for at this time here. But we can always send a scout going back down that way to look again. But yeah, for right now, we're not going to re-sign them. So we got 2 Venezuela players. I believe we got 2 more British players there from England. And then, of course, I think we got the North Ireland guys that we're looking at also. And then we got some players from around the Middle East, from Turkey and others there we're going to look at. And I haven't got a full report from them just yet, but when we do, I will let you guys know. So that is it for this episode of the Cauldron. Hopefully, like I said, I'm trying my best to understand the rule book and how the negotiations are going, how they work, and everything in the game. Not to mention, the transfer window, how that works out, how trying to get a fair deal, or at least what I think is a fair deal for us and for the other team. And I think for the most part, so far, it's been working out here. Haven't found that player just yet to really put us over. But like I said, we got rid of Graham. That was nice. It was not nice to see him go, but it was nice because we did get some money out of that, and then we can use that money towards a future player. Maybe not this season if we can't find nothing in the transfer window, but maybe next season or in the off season or something like that. So we'll continue looking in the this transfer window. Like I said, there are some couple MLS young players here that are not getting playing time. There should be getting playing time, but are not because there's guys that are better than them. We got a better overall and whatnot. So we are going to try to look at that. And of course, if there might be a possibility we might have to do some trading, player trade or something like that. But we'll see how things go here coming up in the next Cauldron video, or before the end of this transfer window here. So that's it for this episode of Inside the Cauldron here for Sporting Kansas City. manager career mode here on FIFA 19. If you guys enjoyed this episode here today, leave a like. Don't forget to also subscribe if you happen to be new, and hit that bell notification so you guys can know what's going on here, so you guys will know when the latest episode is uploaded. Don't forget also too, let me know down below what some players you guys think we should go after in the transfer window. Give me some names. I'll see if I can look them up, see if they're are in the transfer window there. If you guys seen from previous episodes of players that you kind of got a quick scan of who's on the transfer or on the out there that's willing to trade, or is there a particular player that you guys think we should go after? Let me know down below in the comment section, or leave me names or so on Facebook and Twitter. Links down below in the description. Check those out. That's another way of social media you guys can follow us and give me some good tips on suggestions for players and such. So that's it here for today. As always, keep yourselves healthy, and I will see you guys next time.